Mr. McClintock.
Mr. Secretary, since the administration took office, you've deliberately released into the United States 836,000 illegal immigrants who crossed our borders in violation of our laws and sovereignty. Now, that is more than the entire population of the state of North Dakota. And while the Border Patrol has been overwhelmed by this influx, you've allowed about 600,000 gotaways to escape into the interior. This is more than the entire population of the state of Wyoming. And that's with Title 42 in place. When you remove that, it's estimated that we're going to see as many as 18,000 illegal immigrants released into the interior every day. That's the same as admitting a new state of Alaska every 40 days. These numbers are simply staggering. And I'd like to know why you think this benefits Americans. Packing classrooms with non-English speaking students, flooding emergency rooms with illegals demanding care, making it harder to deport criminal illegal aliens, flooding the labor market with cheap foreign labor. How does this benefit Americans?
Congressman, if I can explain how the legal system works when encountering individuals at our southern border.
No, that's the way. First of all, that's not my question. My question is, how does this benefit Americans?
Congressman, when an individual is encountered at the southern border, they are placed in immigration enforcement proceedings.
Okay.
And
so
under the law,
you don't have an answer for how any of this benefits Americans. So let's talk about your enforcement proceedings. Let's define exactly what that means. An alien is given a notice to appear with a court date or simply a notice to report. Call in when you get wherever you want to go. 90% of these asylum claims are turned down, and when they are, less than 15% actually leave. Now, you have already instructed ICE that mere illegal presence in the country is not grounds for deportation, so they stay and await the next amnesty. That's what you mean by enforcement proceedings, because that's what you do.
Congressman, you've misstated the facts. So individuals are placed in immigration enforcement proceedings. Those who present a public safety threat, a threat to national security, a threat to border security, are held in detention during the pendency of those immigration proceedings. Those who do not are given a notice to appear, and the appearance rate is over 86%.
On the initial proceedings, but 90% of them are rejected, and when they're rejected, only 15% leave, and you've told ICE don't go after the others unless there's an underlying criminal situation. You've assured us that ICE prioritizes criminal removals, and that I heard you say you deported more criminals in the Trump administration. But according to data from the FOIA request from the Center for Immigration Studies, in 2021, deportations of aliens with serious criminal convictions declined by over 50% compared to 2020 and 65% compared to 2018. And according to ICE's own website, detainers for assault are down 57%. Under your leadership, detainers for weapons offenses down 52%, dangerous drugs down 49%, detainers for homicides are down 43%, sex crimes down 29%. How does this make our communities safer?
So Congressman, allow me to share some facts with you. 12,025 individuals convicted of aggravated felonies were removed in fiscal year 2021.
And that's down.
That's
nearly down from 2020 or 2018.
Actually, you're wrong. 12,025 were individuals convicted of aggravated felonies, nearly double the 6,815 arrested in fiscal year 2020. If I may.
Aggravated felonies, what does that mean?
Well, that's a definition.
I'd call homicide an aggravated felony. Your detainers for homicides are down 42%, I believe 43%, I should say. Weapons offenses down 52%. You're defining terms that don't actually exist.
Oh, actually,
aggravated felony.
Congressman, the term aggravated felony is defined in statute. It is a United States law. The definition of an aggravated felon is a matter of statutory law.
Crimes like homicide are down.
Congressman,
your detainers.
Congressman,
I mean, those numbers are there on your website. Let me go on. You repeatedly said there's a need for reprioritizing ICE because of limited resources. Yet in 2012, with fewer agents and judges than we have now, ICE arrested and deported 409,000 aliens. Under your administration, with more agents and judges, you've deported only 59,000. That's 1/7 as many. Overall deportations down.
The time of the gentleman has expired. The witness may answer the question.
46% of ICE removals in fiscal year 2021 were for people convicted of felonies or aggravated felonies, compared to 18% during the previous 4 years and 17% of the year before that.
The time of the gentleman, as I said, has expired. Ms. Lofgren.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Mayorkas. Before I ask my question, I'd like to give you an opportunity. My fellow Californian, reading from his talking points, made several assertions that I think are incorrect, and you didn't get to fully explain what the facts are, and obviously what is the benefit of applying the law, standing up for the rule of law, which is what this country stands for. So if you would take a minute on that before I get to my questions, that would be helpful, I think.
Thank you, Congresswoman. The law provides that individuals encountered at our border have a right to make a claim for humanitarian relief under the asylum laws that the United States Congress passed. If their claim for asylum relief prevails in an immigration court, then they have established a basis to remain in the United States. If their claim fails, then they are removed from the United States. We are a nation of laws, and this Department of Homeland Security is administering the laws that Congress passed.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. You know, watching what happened in the prior administration, I'm mindful that you were inherited something of a mess in terms of the department. There were over 400 changes to the immigration system, policy changes that resulted in delays and no increase, no benefits. For example, in USCIS, repeatedly interviewing the same people over and over again on the employment-based side, leading to backlogs, questionable policy choices that nearly bankrupt USCIS. I remember in the summer of 2020, the agency was forced to send furlough notices to 15,000 employees, 70% of its workforce, and was only at the last minute working on a bipartisan basis, actually, here in the House, that we did a stopgap measure, but there was a hiring freeze, and there's millions of backlogged applications. At the same time, we saw extreme vetting of the special immigrant visa program in Iraq and Afghanistan, which actually ended up being no vetting, so that there was no processing of over 17,000 SIV cases for Afghanistan. And when the former president's timeline for removal was implemented, there was no plan in place to expedite the processing or to evacuate those allies, and those unprocessed SIV applications just continued to sit there. I'm wondering, Mr. Secretary, what steps you are taking to try to clean up the mess in the refugee program where all of it was zeroed out, and the agencies, the nonprofits and the religious-based agencies that help were basically dismantled, USCIS was hollowed out, and the like. What is your plan to clean up the mess?
Congresswoman, one of the ways in which the prior administration decimated the legal immigration system is to really leave U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, the agency that administers our nation's legal immigration system, on the brink of bankruptcy. Employees were furloughed. The Asylum and Refugee Corps were decimated. That agency is funded primarily through the fees it collects from applications that people submit for immigration benefits. And the law provides that every 2 years, a fee rule is to issue to recalibrate fees according to the cost of the agency every 2 years. That agency has not had a fee rule
So we'll
for
look
more
at
than
that.
6 years. And so we are bringing it from the brink of bankruptcy to some level of financial stability. It will take time. We are promulgating a new fee rule as this Congress expects.
I've got one more question I want to get in. The H-2A program is an important one for agriculture in the United States, and as you know, we had a bipartisan bill to streamline and improve that provision that is languishing in the Senate. But there have been, and it's been brought to my attention, the Operation Blooming Onion case where there were some abuses of people in the H-2A program. I'm wondering, do we have adequate tools to protect H-2A visa holders from exploitation, understanding that it's an important program and, you know, I'm not saying all employers are exploited, far from it, but we want to get the bad actors.
Congresswoman, we are focusing.
Time of the lady has expired. The witness may answer the question.
We are focusing some of our enforcement resources on employers who exploit vulnerable employees and create a non-competitive labor market. That's one of our areas of tremendous focus.
Thank you.